Fellow Southern Cameroonians, I'm right back here with you. I bring you greetings, though with a very heavy heart this day. Heavy heart because the news on the ground, the news in Ground Zero, continues to be very uninteresting. We are all seeing for ourselves what the evil government of La République du Cameroon can do. We have pointed out over and over and over before that this terrorist government is going to force people to the point where they start feeling like they have to defend themselves. By day and by night, the innocent, unarmed, and peaceful people of southern Cameroons, both in the northern and southern zones, have seen their houses broken into constantly by people who are supposed to protect them. And each time they broke into those houses, they not only tortured, not only maimed, they sometimes even raped our wives and our daughters right before us, in total provocation and in total disregard for the human person, for human values. Today, the people are tired, they are exasperated, and they are beginning to fight back. Oh yes, you will soon hear them say, arms have been brought in from outside to come and cause confusion on their territory. You will soon hear La République du Cameroon say stockpiles of weapons have been brought in from neighboring countries or I don't know where to come and destabilize the government of Mr. Paul Biya. But the revolutions are real. That these young people have supported for too long, that these young people have stayed in the bushes and in the forest since the 22nd of September 2017 to this day, and is beginning to haunt them. Some are beginning to die from hunger, and as a result, what do? We all know the adage that when you chase somebody for a fight and this person can't swim and this person does not even know what to do with water and the person keeps running until when the person finds himself faced by a stream from running, what will he do? He will turn back and fight. This is what is happening. And how are some of the military officials of La République falling? They are falling with bullets coming from their own very arms. The arms were pointing at our brothers and sisters to shoot them, to maim them, to destroy them. Frustrated, they seize those arms. And what would they do? They have to defend themselves. So when they fire back at you, what do? You move onto a rampage against even people who know nothing of what is happening. Fellow Southern Cameroonians and Bazonians, the times are really hard. The news is increasingly not good. Yet, the international community, I should say so-called international community, that for several months and even years, we have called as witness, we have called to witness, to see exactly what is happening. That genocide was being prepared in southern Cameroons, and that genocide is unfolding systematically before everyone's eyes. Yes, no one is saying anything. Oh, why should I not hail the governor of Cross River State in faraway Nigeria, who, upon seeing exactly what is happening, has come out of his shelf to say enough is enough, to call on the international community to notice this kind of hypocrisy, to notice this kind of evil behavior of allowing people to be destroyed, to be maimed, to be dispossessed, to be dehumanized completely, while you pay simply lip service. For months on end, we have heard the United Nations simply say, please stop the carnage. For months on end, we have heard the United Nations simply say, please dialogue. We will even offer our good offices for dialogue. And no dialogue has been coming. My dear brothers and sisters, all of us know that right from the moment the consortium, the Cameroon Anglophone Civil Society Consortium, was formed to address the problems plaguing southern Cameroonians within the structure called the Republic of Cameroon, from the defunct Federal Republic of Cameroon, we have all seen for ourselves that from the creation of the consortium to date, no leader, no single leader has ever called for a recourse to any armed confrontation. From day one until this day, we have called for dialogue. From day one on this day, we have called for civil disobedience, a simple and approved way of protest internationally. An approach that is internationally acclaimed to show discontent, to show unhappiness, to show that you are no longer pleased with what is happening to you. But what have we had in return? Brutality, brutality, brutality. And today, the same perpetrators of that brutality turn around and call us terrorists. At least the entire world, beginning from the African Union, through the United Nations, through every other international actor, has pointed out clearly that there is no terrorists in southern Cameroons. They have pointed out clearly that what has been happening has been people simply demanding to be recognized as human beings. Yes, simply demanding to be recognized as human beings. There are no terrorists in southern Cameroons. Today, we have all seen the newspapers awash with information on how La République du Cameroun, through its military tribunal, is issuing international arrest warrants and is making calls upon calls on Western capitals and other African capitals to arrest civil society leaders. I mean civil society leaders, and extradite them to La République du Cameroun to try them as terrorists. Yes, to kill them. This is what we call a world conspiracy against an innocent people. I know, as well as all of us do, that it would only be an irresponsible government that will kind of go ahead to execute such evil warrants. I use this forum to call on all of us, wherever we are, to continue with the great job that we have been doing for more than a year today, to attract awareness again and again and again to what is happening on our territory, so that no one will say we were never aware, so that no one will say we did not know this is happening. Oh, how I recall when way back in February 2017, we shouted loud and clear that this situation that is not being attended to will escalate. That before long, people will get frustrated and they may want to defend themselves. Here exactly we are. This is what is unfolding today. And what is the international community doing? What is the United Nations doing? What is the UN Security Council doing? Instead of taking actions, they are calling on Mr. Paul Biya to investigate. They are calling on the perpetrator of all these ills to conduct investigations into his own ills. What results will we expect from such investigations? The current happenings in the northern zone and the southern zone, particularly in Manu, bring to our minds clearly the fact that we have really at all costs to be very united, to come together constantly, to work together, because we will be better together. I'm using this forum to pray on all of us who in one way or the other are practicing exclusion to understand that it will be against us. Because with what is happening, with what is unfolding on the ground, and we have seen the kind of appointments coming out from La République, appointments based on the divide and rule tendency. We have seen even attempts at other high-level appointments simply meant to divide us, to fragment us, to continue to subjugate us. Oh yes, we have been referred to as dogs. And I just saw how some people passed the appointments in the diplomatic missions around the world. That 85% of those appointments have been reserved for Francophones as usual, but at least 90% of them to people from the center and south regions. And then, what have we, the southern Cameroonians, had? Only little crumbs that are generally reserved for dogs. And again, not just crumbs meant for those dogs to at least eat and have peace, but crumbs meant to help divide those dogs further. We have to draw lessons from what is happening. And we have to be very close together. I'm calling on the international community with my own little voice to understand that it is getting late every day to intervene in southern Cameroons. Oh, when does the United Nations want to send in peacekeeping troops? Only when everybody would have died? This is an aberration. The peace-loving people of southern Cameroons are undergoing a silent genocide. Oh yes, mass graves are being discovered by the day. Yes, but at the same time, what is happening? We are seeing a kind of indifference from Yaoundé. We all read in the newspapers how the Deputy Director of Civil Cabinet at the Presidency of the Republic of Yaoundé, in Yaoundé, said it clearly that dialogue has taken place. This is the kind of dialogue that Yaoundé offers. The dialogue of arms, the dialogue of torture, the dialogue of dehumanization, of maiming, of raping, of all forms of abuses. And in the end, yes, that form of dialogue is the dialogue of international arrest warrants. We as a people face a huge challenge, and that challenge is that of total annihilation. Do not think that because you are out of ground zero, you are safe. You can see for yourselves already. So wherever we are, we must continue to rise as one and one only, to say no to this kind of carnage. In whatever way we can contribute to get this thing done, we have to do it. This is the time more than ever before for all of us to come together. We must say no to this. We must say no to this. We must stand together against this kind of evil carnage. And we have seen for ourselves that those who call themselves our elites continue to sit and watch. Oh, my brothers and sisters in the military, what are you doing when they will finish all your family members? For who are you preserving that job? What will you do the money coming from that job when everyone that you ought to take care with and share with and rejoice with would have died? When are you going to rise? When? When the people would have been completely finished? And to those of you who call yourselves elite or whatever name I want to call you, who do you think you represent? What are you representing when the same people you claim to be elite over are being killed and destroyed every day, and you can't even resign in protest? You are protecting a job. Protecting what? To do what with? Have you ever imagined a situation where you have all the money in the world stashed in one room and you are alone in the world? What will you do with that money? Wealth is only sweet when you have people to share with. When you have people at least to applaud you enjoying that wealth. This is the time for each and every one of us, wherever you are, to rise and say no to this carnage. The time is now, not tomorrow.